Hey, I'd like to welcome everybody to the HBCU Coaches Corner. And I'm the co-host, Rocky Miller, along with my man, Steve Campbell. But the man you came to see is Coach, the swag legend himself, Johnnie Cole. How you doing, Coach?
Man, I'm doing great, Coach. I'm doing fine, man. Ready to start this fine show with the fine gentleman from those Prairie View Panthers down there in Prairie View, Texas. So looking forward to that. Also got a big announcement, but go ahead on and introduce Coach Campbell.
No, I just wanted to say, what's up, Bishop Campbell? What you got?
Hey, man, we are here, man. We are doing another great episode. And like I tell people, we don't hear things. We know things on this show because you're about to know some things about Coach McDowell. See, we don't get that secondhand information, firsthand information right here, man.
That's right, Coach.
But before we get started with that, I'd like to give Coach Cole an opportunity to make what I would consider around these parts a huge announcement about where he's taking his talents. And so with no further ado, Coach Cole, I'll let you announce the big news. Go ahead, Coach.
Yeah, well, I've been doing this now 2 years, and this guy named AJ Johnson got me off the couch, man, and started this podcast thing. And after maybe about 6-7 months, he gave me my own show, which I didn't know if I was ready or not. But he put me in that situation. I want to first thank him. Second, I want to thank Rocky and his wife for getting involved with me into my show and wanting to do a show together, and then with Mr. Campbell coming in later on, just brought it to another level, guys. And because of that, and because of our following, I want to read this. It says, "Hi, Mr. Cole. Hope you're well. We have in this email a contract in the position of an analyst with HBCU Gold TV football season. Please see your attached contract for your review. If you approve, please send email," which I've already done, and to confirm that will trigger a DocuSign for your execution.
Coach, Coach, I just wanted to say this. I know this show was big, with you being part of the game and your vast knowledge. This show was about you sharing your knowledge and giving your friends a platform and the people you work with over the years a platform to really express themselves and show off their skill sets and really just be a wealth of knowledge to the HBCU community. But this opportunity right here, Coach, is something for you, Coach, that gets you closer to the game that you love. And so what does this opportunity mean to you, Coach?
Well, one of the things I always thought, besides starting this show, is to broadcast HBCU head football coaches, coordinators, and coaches, period, because we don't have a stand like this. ESPN, they don't have a show for Black college coaches. These other sports shows, they don't have where we can sit up and talk about, our philosophies and our dreams and aspirations and about our young people that we coach. And so this is how all this started. And fortunate for me, again, one of the things that I've been preaching is, why don't we have more Black college coaches from Black college schools analyze Black college games? The NFL take care of their players. The NCAA, the college, the college conferences take care of their players, and those guys come back and sit and talk about the game. So I think I am the first right now and only Black college graduate, coach, player that actually is coming back to announce football games. Besides Coach Robinson, Coach Eddie Robinson was the first. Matter of fact, I had called him to ask him for some pointers. So it's a very, very exciting time for me and my family. It's something I've just been, pushing to do and one of the dreams, and of course you guys know, I'm not going to stop there, and I don't know what the future lies. This time around, Rocky, Mr. Campbell, I'm letting God lead my way, because I've had the head job I wanted. I'm married to one I wanted, and all that just didn't work out, and as the old thing say, you want to make God laugh, plan your life out. And hopefully my life from here on out, God, you got it. I ain't planning nothing else. I'm just going to go with what comes my way. But again, I want to thank y'all too. I can't thank you guys enough. I can't thank AJ enough. And of course, my family support and our fans that turn on every week and watch this show.
Yeah, Coach, like I say, I know how much this opportunity means to you, and I just know you're gonna do well with it. I know you got a schedule that's coming out, and you're gonna be doing quite a few games, and I just can't wait to see you announce games on HBCU Go TV.
Tune in, baby, to HBCU Go.
Congratulations, Coach. Outstanding. I just want to say that. It means so much for people like yourself to be able to analyze the game. And let's keep it. Can we just let's keep it real segment right here? Can we be honest? The majority of people that are doing color commentary in the game have no idea about SWAC or HBCU football.
That's right, Coach.
And that we lose something in translation when they don't know the history, the game, the speed of the game, and the players. So I'm just glad we got somebody who's going to be able, because again, as you well know, John Madden just didn't talk X and O's. He talked about football and history about the football and game. So, Coach, you're going to be able to bring that. So, man, I'm looking for you to be, like I say, not be the next John Madden, but the first Johnnie Cole.
See, here's the example of that. In HBCU football, Rocky, well, you might not know, there's going to be a penalty every homecoming because the band has to come out. They're going to take as much as time as they can, and the home team always going to get a flag. But when you're watching it from a TV standpoint, and the analysts don't understand that, he'll be like, whoa, it's a penalty already. What are they doing? They're starting back. Well, for me, I'll be like, oh, man, we ready to roll. It's a penalty, first of the game. That means the band is fired up, the stands are fired up, and we ready to play some football. So,
yeah, I think it's very important when we talk about someone announcing an HBCU game that is familiar with the culture and can relate what's actually going on the field and the pageantry around the game. They can convey that to not only, the fans that are watching. People who know HBCU football, they know what things are happening. Us people from the outside that's used to watching PWI football or whatever y'all want to call it. Mr. Campbell calls it Confederate football, all that kind of stuff. But people who are used to watching that kind of football, we may not know some of the customs and traditions that exist in HBCUs. And it's good to have somebody who is familiar with it, who can relate, who can translate and kind of get us to understand what's going on.
Ain't no question, man. I'm so excited because not only are they bringing me on the analysts, they bring me on for my stories and what I know. And I'm saying you got to get a camera up there in the stands when the people walk around to see the fur coats and the double-breasted suits and the high heels and the patriotism of just the clothing people wear to come to the games. You got to shoot all that, if you really want to get deep into black college football.
Well, Coach, you being a Texas Southern guy, I believe you're familiar with our guests, because doing my homework and my research, I realized that our next guest actually coached like you did at your alma mater, Texas Southern University. I first was introduced who Coach McDowell was as a NFL football. Well, first a Miami Hurricane, then NFL football player, and then I was reintroduced to him when he was Prairie View's defensive coordinator. But with no further ado, I bring to you Prairie View A&M's head football coach, Bubba McDowell.
Coach! Coach!
Can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear me?
Yeah, we hear you just fine, Coach.
Okay, cool. How are you guys doing?
We're doing
Good,
well.
Coach.
We're doing well, Coach.
Awesome, man. Awesome.
I tell you, Coach, before we get started, man, I just got to tell folks, me and Coach met when he was in Houston, Texas. And you want to talk about a humble man and a humble person and approachable guy. I can remember the first time that I met him. And since I've been knowing him, how humble and of a man as he is. You know, Coach, you know, you ain't swag, but you in swag. You've been in swag a long time. You know, you my guy. But, hey, you know, Coach, I got, you know. And so, man, we so glad to have you in the conference. You paid your dues. You know, you worked it up at Prairie View and coaching HBCU football. And I'm pretty sure you could have went some other places because of who you are. You know, you're very known as well in the NFL coaching community as well. And I want to thank you for taking your time to come out and give us a few words of Prairie View because your fans been trying to eat us up, Coach. And I got the number one question. Any of y'all got anything to say? Coach, who's going to be the damn quarterback?
Well, right now, I can't tell you.
Y'all must in a secret society, Coach, because that's the same thing your fans are saying.
Let me just say this, Jay. It's a great battle right now.
Okay. They ate us up about, y'all ranked him number 2 because the quarterback we got is, y'all don't even know the quarterback. So, Coach Campbell, we hear it live. Don't nobody know the quarterback yet.
Well, I can say this, though, Coach, is that there's no look of consternation on your face. Whatever the situation is, you're able to smile about it, which leads me to believe that it's okay.
It's okay. It's okay. We're in a really good spot right now. And as you guys know, anytime you can get 3 different guys out there competing against one another again, which is what we wanted to see. Didn't know if it was going to happen, but believe me, they're definitely out there competing.
Wow. Well, I tell you what, Coach, you got some folks looking in the trees, through the fences, out there, some dark cars. And evidently they keep on making the wrong choice. They probably don't know who's who yet. we don't heard several names.
They would know 31st though, for sure.
Yeah. Coach, go ahead, Coach.
No, I was going to ask him, will you announce the starter prior to the first snap of the football game, Coach? To the public.
Yeah. Be honest with you guys. Yeah, we will. Again, we'll know going into that last week, 25th again when we break, and then prior to getting ready on 26th, that Monday, getting guys ready to go. We'll know by then who has taken over that top spot. Hopefully we'll know even maybe 2 weeks before. But again, we'll definitely know for sure who's going to be that guy going into week 1 against Texas Southern.
Now, Coach, how many of you guys you got coming back on offense and defense? Are you reloading or are you
Yeah, we're reloading. We lose a lot of guys. You mean coming back this year or that's coming back?
Just coming back, on the team.
Yeah, we unfortunately, again, we're gonna have to rebuild. We got some young guys that's we know is gonna step up. Right now at the linebacker spot, at some D-line spot. And again, that's where we're losing a lot of guys at. Offensively, we got some young bucks coming back. Secondary, we're pretty young, but again, for the most part, we're heavy senior. So again, we're gonna have to go back out, hit that portal and as well as these high schools, and find some good players.
Now, Coach, when you first took over the job, I want to say that didn't you win the West?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep. Mm-hmm.
So and I thought that. So tell me, when you took over that team, where you were compared to where you are now in your 3rd year.
Yeah, we were still learning, still getting to know one another. Again, trying to build a different culture around here with these young guys, young men. As I told them, from day one, when I took over this job, having to learn from some previous coaches that were here, Coach Dooley, Coach Simmons, Coach Northern, again, who brought me in, it took a minute for me to actually, say to myself, are you ready to do this job? And as God would have it, it was the perfect timing for me to go ahead and say, hey, you know what? Let me see if they're gonna give me this job if I apply for it, And again, we did that, and again, now we're just in the process. From the time I started to where we are right now, we're steady getting better each year. And again, as you guys know, this is where you want to be. You want to continue to prove each and every year, with players, hopefully get you back, to where to that successful season that you had previously. And again, 2 previous seasons, we've been pretty successful to play in championship game. Again, didn't have the outcome wasn't what we hoped, but again, we went out. Coaches went out, did what they need to do to hit that portal, get some high school guys that we thought, that we voted on, that we discussed, and say, hey, you know what, this guy can definitely come in and help us, and that's where we are. That's where we are right now.
Yeah, Coach, you've been having some great seasons, and the thing that I like about your coaching style is it seems like you keep things close to the vest. You ain't really wide open on offense. You ain't bringing a lot of pressure on defense. Just for you, it's somebody you modeled yourself behind. It's somebody that you can buy in, that you talk to about the game. Because I love your smooth ways, and you don't lose control. You and your team though, because you beat Texas Southern twice, my school at the end.
Yeah.
So one game you only threw the ball one time. You believe that, Coach Campbell? One time. But it was so smart. You know why he threw it one time, Coach? It rained like hell.
Yeah.
So listen, you're a thinking guy. And I love it, Coach. I love your style.
Coach, I'd like to ask you a question. This is kind of a little off subject, but I'd like to get this out of the way. I'm a big NFL football fan, and I remember those order teams in the 90s, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if you were teammates with Coach Robinson over at I believe you were teammates with Coach Dishman over at TSU.
Yes, sir.
Anything that happened or with that experience that prepared you guys for being head coaches or a career in football?
For me, I think for sure. Again, not for me personally. I always said there was something that I would never do for us coaching, because again, I knew the hours that coaches put in, and I've always said once I'm done with this game, I would not do it. And it's funny, I went into training, right after my career was done. Went into training guys, getting them ready for the NFL and some guys for colleges. But being there with the Oilers, I really believe even to this day, the things that I've seen and saw with Nick Saban teaching me about different philosophies, different techniques. Of course, you guys know he's the DB guy. Coming in after Chris Dishman, who also took me under his wing, him and Richard Johnson, those guys taught me a whole lot as a rookie, and they were like, hey, man, hey, you just got to go out there and play your game, and I was competing with Quentin Jones at the time, for the starting job, as a rookie, scared, didn't know what to do. And I remember one day that, one game, should I say, in Chicago, and Nick Saban told me at the end of the game, he said, look, son, Jerry Glanville was about to take you off the field and not play you anymore. And I told him that, hey, you know what? Let him stay in. He's going to make some plays. He's going to do something. And sure enough, I end up causing a fumble. That second half, I end up knocking down a big play, recovered a fumble. It all happened all in one, once in the second half, and again, it was one of them things that he told me, like, things gonna go wrong, but you got to learn how to forget it. You got to learn how to come back, and play the football that we know you're capable of playing. And again, teammates that I had throughout those years taught me the same thing. I truly believe that before I left there, the Oilers and went to Carolina in the first two inaugural seasons, 95 and 96. Those guys were, I think, probably I was closer to those guys more than anybody, because again, we was like a family. We did a lot of things together, and this is the same thing I'm trying to instill to these young men here. Again, you got to have each other in order to win championship game. You got to be able to play for each other to win championship game, and that's where we are right now.
Coach, I want to turn to, I think you play a little bit possum. So, Coach, I want to go back. Talk to me. First of all, you've got 7 players that Phil still has on his all-SWAC team. So that's some talent right there, Coach. And you also brought, from what I saw, and I'm pretty sure you might have brought in more, 16 transfers. So let's talk about the players that you brought in, and also kind of talk about your philosophy, transfers versus high school recruits, because you are in such a powerhouse state where now you got players, because of transfer portal, that, Coach, you might have the opportunity to say, hey, come to Prairie View and play, because they're not getting opportunities at all the other schools in Texas. Kind of talk about that and your players that you brought in.
Yeah, I mean, again, we brought in Lucas Cooley, again, transfer from U of H by way of Arkansas, quarterback. Again, one of those guys that's competing for the job. Cam Peters, we had Cam here once before. We was recruiting him out of high school. Then he left, and then we, went back to UIW, I think it was, and and then we brought him back when the time is right. So again, we needed a quarterback. We knew he was a local kid. And we wanted to get him, because again, we wanted him really bad at that particular time, but again, we just couldn't get him in because of different great issues at that particular time. Jaden Johnson, Ole Miss bounced back. Wendy Jones, won championships there. Could sling the ball, throw the ball. Didn't get a chance to participate last year against the first game against Texas Southern. So he ended up not playing that whole season, guys, due to grades that he had to get that he had to get done before he can even play this year. And again, went out and got a couple of guys from different areas. Now again, when we're talking about you asked me about transfer portal guys and high school guys, I'll be the first to tell you I would love to build off high school guys. I really would love to. If it was my way, that's the way I would go. Because again, now I'm getting these guys early. I'm getting them young. Now I can teach them. We can teach them the way we want to be, the way we want to teach them. So again, that they can go out, and help us win. But as you guys know, with the portal, that is not the case. It's a win now, no league, all across from top to bottom. So again, you're gonna have different guys at different points of the time, going in that transfer portal, like you said, because they're not playing, unhappy. So again, we got to be able to what? Now, as I tell my guys, we got to be able to recruit our guys, to stay, not go anywhere, as well as going out recruiting guys that are in that portal. But we got to make sure that if we're going to that portal, as I told them, we got to make sure that these are kids that we need specifically. If not, if we know that we got a high school kid that we know that is going to be a good one that we can develop at a certain position, that we know we can kind of sit him down and wait a little bit, that's the route we're going to go.
Now, is it true, Coach, that the kid that you had at quarterback ended up leaving and going to Miles?
Yeah, we had a McDowell kid here. Yeah, we sure did. He came in from Montana, where he won the championship. Montana State, I think it was, won the championship there. He's the kid out of Spring as well. Thought we had him set, ready to go, but due to the NIL money, you're like, hey, Coach, I got to call McNeese, and I said, no, don't call him. I knew as soon as he called him, it was going to be over. And I was I was begging guys for him not to call, but sure enough, he said, "Yeah, I want to give him a call." And sure enough, as it would be, he had made that call, and man, they offered him more money, the NIL money, and he left here and went there.
Mm.
Hey, Coach, as a Texas guy, I understand how fertile the landscape is in football. I once watched Willie Simmons in an interview say this, Coach. He says, when his Florida guys go to other places, right?
Yeah.
And they've shown a little interest in Florida A&M, but they end up going to maybe Michigan State, maybe Louisville, maybe North Carolina. He says he keeps his eyes on those guys, so if they come back in the portal,
absolutely,
he offers them a free trip back home. Is that something that you deploy also as you watch kids from the Houston area or Texas altogether go other places and then try to lure them back with a trip coming back home?
Absolutely, and I started doing that even with Coach Norton, because there were some places that we can go in that we was able to go in, but not able to talk to the top guys. They were bringing in the room only the guys they wanted you to talk to. And I'm like, and I remember I got into one high. I said, well, let me talk to this dude. We know this dude's a 3-4 star. Now, Coach, he's not coming there. I said, okay, well, let me just talk to him anyway. There may be a point in time where he may go somewhere and not be happy. He's a home state kid. He may remember this conversation that he and I had. As I always tell him, and tell the coach, I say, guys, when you're out there recruiting, talk to everybody you can, because right now, you don't know if that kid's going to go there, if he's going to be happy with 1 year, 2 year, or 3 year. You don't know. So let's build a relationship, not only with high school kids, but, kids, just in the state of Texas alone, you can build a championship team with these type of athletes here. So it will behoove us to make sure that we are somewhere, when we're talking to the top-notch guys, talking to the 1, 2, 3, 4-star guys as well, because, again, it's all about building relationship. That's one thing Nick Saban, told me a long time ago. Again, it's about building relationship with whoever it is that you're trying to get, that you want to be part of your staff, whether it be a coach or whether it be a high school kid, you want to be part of that team. Build a relationship to where, that kid is happy, the parents are happy. You got to get to know whoever that kid's handler is, and, and make sure that they know who you are, because, again, you all know with the new portal now going on, and things can happen very fast. They can get up there and say, hey, you know what? Boom, I don't like it. And again, we're talking about now with the new league, with the new rule where everybody, FBS guys can go to 105, and now, too, you may get some of them kids, that got money on scholarship, but all of a sudden they get there, and they're 3, 5-star, 3, 4-star guys that are not happy. So now, have we made contact with these young men along the way? And if so, hey, let's continue to do that. Even, again, when they get in the portal, you call them and say, hey, you know what, you remember me? And some of them do. And that's why I say, again, it's very important that you build that relationship early so they know who you are. And a lot of times, guys, as you know, these kids remember. If you have set a good standard with talking with these kids during recruiting time, they're going to remember who you are.
Yeah. Coach, year 3. Man, you went from assistant coach, coordinator, you're sitting at year 3. I always said as a coach, and, I've had most of my success in year 3. How you feel? You know where the rest of them at? You know who's who? You've been kind of knowing some alumni because you've been there. I guess that's one of the difference, man. You're coming in, everybody is picking you guys because of you, because you've been in there. The way you have won, you're steady. How does Coach Bubba McDowell feel where you are with this football team?
I feel really good, guys, right now. Again, I'm very happy with what we have done as a coaching staff, going out, getting the young men that we need, that we think and know that's going to help this team defensively, offensively, and special teams. And all, as you guys know, all 4 units that plays a pivotal part in winning games and winning championships. We wasn't that good last year in, special team, But I really believe the guys that we went out and got, as we was looking at these young men, and I told them, I said, as you guys looking at these guys, scouting these young men, see if they place any type of special teams, because this is what we're gonna need to help us win a lot of games this year. As God would have it, this is, it fell right in our hands. A lot of these kids that we recruited played a lot of special teams and played it well, aside from their normal position that they played. So I'm feeling really good right about now. I'm feeling really happy with, what we have at this point. But again, Johnny, you guys know, it ain't about us. As I tell them, these guys, it ain't about us, because all we can do is coach you, put you in position to make the plays. You guys got to go out there and do the job and do the work.
Yeah, I got to ask you, Coach. Man, you don't beat my Tigers too many times. All right, we're in the third quarter. Y'all down, Coach.
Yeah.
You down.
Yeah.
All right, you down, I think 30-17?
Real close, yeah, something like that.
Okay. Well, I'm in Texas Southern spot. Texas Southern says, by what I seen at the game, we got them down. Now we great kill a gnat with a hammer. We gonna throw this ball every day. You over on the sideline or coming out of halftime like, whew, where were you at? What was your thinking? Because, Coach, y'all came back like a thunderstorm.
Again,
I remember that game?
I do, Coach. Again, it was again. I wasn't nervous or anything. Again, because I knew the kids that we had, I knew the talent that we had, I knew the type of attitude that we had. Again, it was all about coming out of that locker room and getting out there and executing plays. We was executing, trying to execute plays. We were running plays, but we wasn't executing to the point where it was in our favor as we did that second half. And then, like I told him as a guy, the game is not over. Been in many situations like that as a pro. I've been in many situations like that as a college guy at Miami. Been in many situations like that even in Pop Warner. So me just trying to get them to understand that you play 4 quarters of football, and if you do that and you execute the plays that you are taught and told to do, again, you're going to be that guy. You're going to win. And John, I always tell these guys too, look, guys, schemes and is everything. Yeah, we can do schemes. You guys know the X and O's all day long. But I don't give a crap if you can beat that guy across from you, and I tell them this every day, because we compete out here. I say, if you beat that guy 95% of the time, bro, I don't give a crap what scheme it's called. You got to block him or you got to run that route. You got to be better than him 95% of the time throughout the course of that game. And if you do that, I think we'll win a whole bunch of games. And again, they believed it. They came out, we started executing plays, and we started coming back. And that's all we can ask.
Did you notice that they just kept trying to throw the ball? Did you notice? Did you? Because they were averaging 10 yards of rushing, 10 yards of carry. And I was like, wow, okay, they're gonna come out and slow the game down and run out the back door, with the victory. But they came out and threw it. I want to say almost 30 times in the second half.
They did, and again, but we started shutting the run down a little bit better than we did that second half. And I'm gonna be honest, as I always tell my guys, I'm very transparent. And again, during the course of the game, our secondary wasn't that great. It really wasn't.
Okay.
You would think, you would think they would continue to throw that thing down there to, with the type of receivers that they had. Again, like I told the D-line as a guy, you got to give our guys in the backfield some help somehow, some way. And that's the only way you're going to do that is through pressure. And then we started changing up. Coach Rock started changing up, doing a lot more pressures on them that second half, which worked out in our favor.
Right. Well, Coach, you talked about recruiting. Y'all got one of the best facilities in HBCU football.
Yes,
How much does that facility help you guys? And I know the campus life, because I went to Texas Southern and was able to have some campus life up there with Prairie View and knowing how does that stadium kind of help your recruits? Are they surprised when they come?
Absolutely, Jay. I mean, it is. They are, whether it be the parents, whether it be the kids themselves. I've always told guys, even alumni, sometimes, and coaches, I said, guys, let's just get them on campus. If we get them on campus, I think we got them. We got them. We're gonna have a real good shot at getting them. And sure enough, just amazing to me still to this day. When kids and parents come, they're like, wow. We had no idea that you guys had that Prairie View look like this. Because one thing we do know, when you come into PV, it's gonna be manicured. Everything's gonna be cut. The grass gonna be low. It's gonna be very, very nice when you get here on campus. So again, we can get them on campus. We feel that we got a really good chance of securing them.
Coach, my daughter's will be a senior at Prairie View this upcoming year. Matter of fact, her roommate is one of your trainers, Davy. All right, so but my question is this, Coach. With the combination of academic excellence, football facilities, and living accommodations at Prairie View, does that put y'all above the fray in the SWAC when it comes to recruiting?
I would say back early when there was no transfer portal, no NIL, yes. Now, no. Because it is all about they may love the facility, but again, it's about what you can give me. That's what it's about. I'm being honest.
But Coach, let me ask you this, Coach, because I hear coaches say that all the time about players does playing time matter anymore, Coach?
Honestly, I'm trying to figure that out myself. I really am. I'm at a loss with that because the first thing come out the mouth is when you talking to them, you trying to recruit them, and you laying it on. What you got for me, Coach? I was like, huh?
Wow.
What you got for me? I was like, oh, wow. What do you mean? What I got for you? Well, I was off with this, I was off with that. Forgot about all those shots, those photos they took, the campus tour that they took. It's now about, Coach, what you got for me?
Wow.
Because I think more than ever now that the situation that a kid goes into matters. You can be compensated well NIL, but if the guy in front of you or there's tremendous depth at that position, you could be compensated well. You could be a well-compensated bench player. And Absolutely. At the end of the day, even back when I was a kid and I was playing in college, playing time really was at the top of the deal. I know guys who had opportunities to go to Oklahoma and the University of Texas and whatever, but they elected to go to places like Tech, TCU, and Baylor for opportunities to play. And I was wondering if you guys could offer that to kids as a added bonus, an opportunity to play. But you kind of answered that question. They want that money.
They still want the money, but again, at the same time, when we are recruiting, I always tell my guys, when we go recruit a guy, and then when that kid comes in on a visit, we give him that opportunity to start, to take somebody's position. And I tell my guys, and they'll be the first to tell you, every year we're starting over. Who's going to win that position? Just because you was a starter last year don't mean you're going to be that starter this year.
Yeah, Coach, Prairie View got big alumni now. Big alumni. They love their sports up there. I know recently your home games ain't been as crowded, and I don't know why, but I know they got major support. Have they gotten together, or have you had a chance to speak with them about saying, look, if we want to be able to compete and stay at this level, we're gonna have to get into the paying business, to the NIL business. I mean, if you want to survive, have you had a chance to do that, or what you think about that?
Yeah, we've talked to several guys that have stepped up and put some money up for some guys to help us get the guys we got in right now this year. And again, it's a constant education part on my behalf of educating our alumni. And then they've been being taught, or or should I say, they've been asked, by other alumni to pitch in and help out with NIL money, because again, as you said, this is the new norm now. Kids want to come in, they want to be paid, whether it be a stipend, a collective or individual, taking care of certain guys with the NIL deal. So yeah, we're still on the verge of getting more and more information out to our alumni as much as possible, because again, in order for us to compete, with schools that are across the road, and the ones that we're going to be able to see again and again, the first game every year, the one that you used to coach at, that you won championship. We got to compete with those guys. We got to compete with Alabama State. We got to compete with McNeese, all these guys, Sam Houston, that are in-state guys. In order for us to even have a chance, we're gonna have to put a big collective together, so we know when we go out and recruit a kid, we can say, hey, you know what? This is what we got. This is where we are. And let that kid make that decision from there.
Coach, you got the Labor Day Classic. Now we've talked to Coach Chennisberry, Coach Eddie, Coach Mickey Joseph, of course yourself, and you play a big game too, which is the Labor Day Classic.
Yes, sir.
So our question was, we were talking about what could get a coach up out of there. And do you believe that? Let's just say you had some winning seasons, which you've had, but keep losing that Labor Day Classic, or be winning and losing Labor Day Classic every year, or in the middle of season and winning that Labor Day Classic. Which one do you think you rather be? Winning that Labor Day Classic and having a mediocre season, or going 8-3 but losing that Classic every year?
Ooh, boy, that's a great one. I don't know if I want to answer that one. you put me on the spot with that one, Jay. I don't know if I want to answer that one. That's a tough one there.
Hey, look, you got to win that Fighting Classic. I mean, you got to win that Labor Day Classic.
Yeah, exactly. Because again, that's the first thing everybody say. Okay, I don't care what happens. You better beat TSU. You better beat TSU. I said, okay.
Well, Coach, I'm gonna help you out, Coach. This is what you tell them. Say, I got to win that game, because that's a conference game, and that propels us to the division championship. So we always want to win that game. That's what you tell them, Coach. Absolutely. That's what you tell them. So you get a 2, you win that game, and then that puts you up in the division already.
Tell me, you don't have a chance. You don't have a chance to win the conference if you lose to TSU.
Exactly.
There you go.
Exactly.
There you go.
And that's what. And it's funny you say that, because again, that's what I try to tell our guys to do. We got to get out and get going early. Every year. Yeah, you lose that game, it's going to be very hard in the SWAC, to get back, to where you're going to be in contention to play for the Western, possible championship.
It puts you back 2 games, because you gotta hope they lose a game, and then you gotta beat the team that they lose to. That's the only way you can jump back in there.
Hey, Coach, I wanted to go. You talk about starting the schedule off the bat, having to start fast, playing in a meaningful game, the first game of the season. That's not typical for most college football teams, right? But that's typical for TSU and Prairie View. How does that impact leading up to the season when you have almost what you guys probably consider a must-win game right off the bat?
Yeah, it's a big impact. And again, as we try to tell the kids, make the kids known that, hey, Texas Southern, Prairie View, first game, conference game, we got to win. As John said, again, it puts you back if you don't win those 2 games. So it's very important that that we win this game. Not only this game, but other games after that as well. But for the most part, like you said, this game is so important, because again, it's a conference game, And again, I'm gonna be honest. That's why I hate playing this game the first game. I really do, because again, as you know, Jay, it doesn't matter what kind of athletes you have on each team. it's going to be a battle. And go ahead.
I'll give you the history. When I came to Texas Southern in 81, one school you don't lose to is Prairie View. Well, every year, my first 3 years, every year, TSU and Prairie View would be in last place. And they used to call it the mud bowl or the toilet bowl.
Yes.
And we didn't have, a lot of people come to the game but things are different. We had about 10,000 to come to the game. They had about 9, you know what I mean? Of course, now it's a little bit bigger than that. And so what happened, they took the game because both teams was always on the losing end. They moved it to the first game. So in 1985, I played in the first Labor Day Classic when it started. And we ended up beating Prairie View 19-6. And that just kind of started. Have you I don't like it. I know you don't like it, Coach. If you could get that changed now that both schools are, it's a different era. You got Prairie View up at 1, winning, won the West, 1 or 2 chances. Do you think maybe, and I know I'm not putting this on your plate because I know that's an athletic director, head coach, president. Would you want that game to be back at the end or maybe somewhere in the middle? And I think they would still get the crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, because again, just so much pressure with that game being the first game and knowing that, you gotta win it. Because again, as you said earlier, if you don't, it's gonna put you back 2 games. Then now you gotta hope somebody else will lose, hope this team lose, and all that. But again, I'd rather start off with somebody soft, and kind of get into the
maybe about 2 games down, maybe 2 games down.
I agree. Yeah, 2, 3, 4. Just
Well, Coach Cole, as you over there politicking, they done played them at the beginning of the year. They done played them at the end of the year. TSU ain't won a game in over 10 years, Coach.
Yeah.
So I don't think it matters when Prairie View plays TSU at this point. It all gets the same outcome.
Yeah.
Hey, Coach. Go ahead. No, go ahead, Coach Cole. Go ahead.
No, you got it.
I just wanted to shift gears because, Coach, before I let you go, I want to ask you a question. I'm a big fan of yours, but, Coach, you were part of, I like to say, for the culture. Your Miami Hurricane team was right. We were around the same age. Georgetown basketball, Miami Hurricane football, UNLV running Rebels, the Fab Five. Did you guys really realize, as they say, you guys were Black America's team during those times, the 80s? Because I came from Jackson, Mississippi, so I was in the SEC. But I was a Miami fan because you guys looked like us. You played like us. When we played, as they say, on the playground. And you guys were the first team where it was about speed. It was about finesse. It was about having athletic ability, almost like basketball players. Did you guys, as you even playing during that time with all those tremendous players that you played with during that 4-year period? And I want to say this too. We're talking to one of the greatest special team players of all time. And I'm not making this up. Coach ESPN said this. Do you sit back and realize and explain to your players that you all did not have the best facilities, but it was about the hard work that you all did, and that you really understood how big you were for the coach? Did you really realize that either as playing and now as you look back at it, you and your teammates?
Absolutely. Again, you're absolutely right. Yes, we did, because we had those type of egos on our team. Yes, we did. Because again, when we got to the situation where we won that first championship, we was in my sophomore year when they won against Nebraska.
Yeah.
They won against Nebraska.
Yeah.
Johnnie Gill, Mike Rozier, those guys. Yeah.
That's when it started clicking for the University of Miami. And again, of course, when Jimmy Johnson got in there, and we're at practice and we're competing, we're going back and forth. Alonzo Heisman, Vinny Tersford, all those guys. We had dudes again, first, second, third, fourth, was battling, and those guys knew. First guys knew, second guys knew. If a third guy got in there, fourth guy, you might not get your job back. That's how good we were, and that's how deep we were. And they knew that. Again, after that, and once we started, really, really understanding, what, this is our city. When we was going out, at the end of the season, and when we started getting on that winning streak, and we was getting in the club before the Miami Dolphins were, we knew we have arrived.
Yeah, hey, look, y'all was the first Deion Sanders. What's the booty man? The gotta get me get
Luke.
Luke.
They
They had the stars before it was stars, Coach.
I'm sure Luke wouldn't appreciate you calling him the booty man.
Yeah, Luke.
I'm glad this podcast, Coach.
Yeah, but again, I try to instill that to these young men, that same type of culture. I just tell them that yesterday. Like, look, I was getting on them like, dude, when are you guys going to understand how good you are? And you got to do this thing consistently. I said, there's one thing we did at Miami. We did it consistently. Again, I know everybody's not going to like each other. You're going to be out here competing. You're going to fight. It's football and all that. But at the end of the day, there's enough guys on this team from the first to the third right now that can easily step in, take over a spot, only if they knew what they was doing. And that's one thing I loved about Miami. Again, is what I was taught, just by looking and observing, as a freshman coming in, not playing a whole lot, sophomores kind of sort of in and out. We ran a lot of cover 2 back in those days. So I was more of a boundary corner, because I was more physical than the field corner, which was at Jay, is the cover guy. So I try to instill give them these guys all kind of stories, how we did it back in those days. So hopefully, at some point it will sink into them as well. Like, hey, you know what? We got these same dudes on this team right now. Now, how can we put it together? Like Coach McDowell has asking us to do. But one thing I do know, the reason why we were so successful, because we knew what to do. Because again, as I tell them all the time, if you know what to do, you can play fast all day long, and you're going to be pretty successful. When you're out there thinking and wondering what you're going to do and not how you're going to do it, you're going to play slow. And you guys know that. So I'm trying to get them out of that mode and more into, hey, get in the study room, know what you're doing. Put it out there on the field during practice, and let's go put it together, as one unit, come Saturday or Friday, whatever team that we're playing for 4 quarters of football. That's what we did. We played 4 quarters of football. I was just telling us, dude, it's one thing we knew come game day, when we got out there on the field at Miami, pregame, we had the game won. We ain't played it down, but we in our mind, we had the game won.
Now, Coach, I'm going to say one thing. I told you I'm a big fan of yours. Now, I'm going to tell you how big a fan I am, because I'm getting ready to tell on these 2 jokers. Now, we had to do our preseason predictions. The one guy that picked you, number 1? This guy. Me. This guy, Coach, let me tell you, and I want you to ask these guys, and I'm going to tell you what I like, Coach. And this is and you tell me if I'm wrong or expound on it. I like the consistency of what you're bringing to your team. I see a toughness. I see, even through last season, that your defense wasn't where you wanted it to be far as holding people down, but they made plays when they need to make plays. And that's kind of that Miami thing that I saw. So I see that continuation coming into this year, where you have now laid a championship foundation. Hey, guys, we should always be number 1. We should be playing for SWAC championships and things like that. So, Coach, going into the season, because we got a lot of Prairie View fans, and Coach, when I say they have come out the woodwork saying this is their year. Now, I'm a FAMU guy now, okay? I'm a FAMU guy. So I understand when you feel it's your season. What do you tell the fans that what you built, like, and Coach Cole said, this third season where you got the guys and they know the Prairie View program, they know the McDowell way. What do you think about, and what do you tell your fans out there, Coach, what you're going to do this year?
Again, this year we're expecting to do a whole lot. And again, because of where we've been, where my first year as a head coach to where we are right now, I truly believe that we have improved offensively. We have improved defensively. I think, and more importantly, we have improved special team wise. As you know, I said earlier, I think that was one of our weakest spots was special team. Even though I thought we had the guys to do it, but for some reason they didn't do it the way we anticipated them do it. But I do believe that this year they understand, like, hey, you know what? I got that guy behind me to the left. I got that guy over here to the right of me. I got the guy in front of me. If I don't do what I'm supposed to do, he's going to be that next guy in there getting that job done. We got to be consistent. Go ahead, Jay.
Go ahead, Coach. I'm sorry.
No,
Go ahead.
I just said no. We just got to be consistent in what we're doing this year. And I'll be the first to tell you, man. They are doing just that. Did it take some time to do it, to get them to where I want them, to mold them to how I want them to think, 4 quarters of football. Absolutely. Is it perfect? No, it ain't perfect right now, but it's way better than where we were 2 years ago.
Well, to get my tickets back and my sideline passes, Bubba, when I heard you lost your quarterback, this cat up here, Florida A&M guy, I just like, oh man, that's tough.
Yeah.
Guy know the system, y'all ready to roll. I'd have picked y'all first. But when the news got out that you lost him, I said, well, one thing about Coach, he keeps things close to the vest. He don't let defense win games, and his biggest thing is not turning the ball over. Coach, I ain't even heard you say that, but I've seen your football team, man, and that's a great philosophy in this conference. Don't turn that ball over. Let the defense win and do what you can do.
Yeah, because again, at the end of the day, John, man, the snap or down or quarter, things can change real quickly in the SWAC, and again, as these guys have watched film and over the last 2 years and 3 years for some, 4 for others, they understand that, SWAC is a conference that, that can change rapidly, so we got to be ready to go. As I told them last year, when we was picked, I think 8th last year, I said, don't worry about all that ranking. I promise you we're going to be where we need to be at the end of the year. Of course, we went to FAM, lay the egg, and then I told a couple of guys that was there. I said, matter of fact, Coach Henry, I said, don't worry about it. We'll be back. It's okay, yeah. And he kind of shaking my hand like, okay, sure you will. I said, we're gonna be back. I promise you, we'll be back here in this championship. And I again, just letting the guys know that I had that much confidence in them to get back. And as we got on that plane.
What you need to know today, it's Friday, August 9th, 2024. Number 1. 1 month after the United States Supreme Court ruled a president is entitled to some level of immunity, Donald Trump's stalled federal election interference case is back in the court of U.S. District Judge Tanya Chutkan. The Supreme Court charged Judge Chutkan with deciding which acts are official and which are not official, determining what charges can be presented to a jury. And with that, her decisions are also expected to be appealed. The first hearing held Friday, August 16th. Number 2. A federal judge ruled Google violated antitrust laws to maintain online search monopoly. Judge Amit P. Mehta found Google abused its position to stay dominant. The Department of Justice and individual states sued Google for illegal dominance in online search. Google plans to appeal that decision. Number 3, the What You Need to Know newsletter, along with our partners at Black Health Matters, have come up with 10 exercise myths that people need to stop believing. For example, waist trainers don't lead to permanent weight loss. They even may cause health issues. Use them only if a doctor recommends after surgery. Check out the newsletter for the other myths. Number 4, in 1961, 4 servicemen fought with patrons at the Black Knight, an LGBTQ tavern. Josie Carter, a Black transgender woman, defended the bar. Carter, a Milwaukee native who died in 2014, was recently honored with a landmark in downtown Milwaukee. The Black Knight was a popular bar for the local LGBTQ community. The Black Knight was torn down in 1966 to make way for freedom expansion. Number 5, Love and Beauty Supply is the only Black-owned beauty supply store in Ontario, California. Founded by Tina Patterson and her late cousin Monica Pearson, it aims to empower individuals to embrace their unique beauty. Despite facing challenges due to low sales, Patterson remains dedicated to keeping the dream alive. Here's your daily inspiration from Yogi's Jewels. Life is a series of choices. Let's choose to never stop dreaming of bigger and better possibilities. I'm Sybil Wilkes.
My name is Danny Wilson, and I won $500 on the lunch break with AJ Jones.
BS3 Network, changing the way you watch TV.